Greetings, everyone, across the state of West Virginia and beyond. You know the whole deal. Weirton to Welch, Martinsburg to Matewan. Took a look at some of the podcast metrics this week. We got nice listeners in the United Kingdom.
Excuse me?
Got a nice little base in the UK.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So shout out. Shout out to the United Kingdom. 3 guys before the game ready to go to work, and we're delighted that you are with us. It's called Busy Bye Week. A lot of things going on. Football team, yeah, they are off, but obviously a lot of news to get into. And we are on the cusp of a new era of WVU men's basketball. West Virginia will open play Monday, and we'll spend time today taking a look at the most flipped Mountaineer basketball roster since 1944.
Is that
Fact.
fact?
Fact. From 43 team to the 44 team, there was no carryovers of players. That was the world war going on there. And now this one's got 1 player. So this is the biggest roster turnover. We'll talk about that coming up.
You can go post World War II on that. That's
Post two.
Post.
Yeah,
World
post
War
2. 3 guys before the game, brought to us by our good buddies at Comax Business Systems. They happen to keep West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Go to gomart.com for details. 3 guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. You think they're taking advantage of this summer weather in now turning into November?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. 3 guys also brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way. We have a really interesting text later about the naming of one of Tudor's Biscuit and how it turned out to be that name.
We need a 3 guys biscuit.
Excuse me? We're open to it. I mean, all I have to do is...
It'd have 3 things on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably vegan.
Look at you
3
diving
guys
into the marketing world over there.
Not.
But don't you have a couple things going on with your daily job? Now you're getting into marketing? That's pretty good.
3 guys also brought to us by
like that.
Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers.
Give me
Kercheval over here in product development. I like this.
Give
Not
me
just on there screaming about the election. He over there coming up with biscuits.
So
just an idea. So turn that over to Dave. We'll homeless Dave, will you? Because that's about all I got.
That was very Caridi of you right there.
It was.
You
I
know
got
what
nothing
you
else.
should do? Should come up with a biscuit, 3 things on it. Okay, I'm out. I'll talk to you in a month. Is that done?
That's exactly right. Just did a Caridi.
if
Tony
there was a 3 guys biscuit, is it too much to put 3 eggs on 1 biscuit?
Yes.
That's too much?
Probably too much.
It's easy to do 2. Like I double egg. Okay, that's easy. Like a 3 guys biscuit that would have 3 eggs, would that be the way to go?
No.
Too much.
He's probably right. 3 different items.
See, I totally disagree with you because I eat multiple eggs at a time.
How about? Well, I don't know. The product development is not going well at the moment. We better. Why don't we turn this over to
Marketing 101, they always say don't market to yourself.
Oh, good point.
So you just did that. You tried to assume just because you eat 3, that's also typical of you. You assume because it's good for you that it would be good for everybody. That's literally rule number 1 that you learn.
A good cautionary tale.
Don't market to yourself.
Yeah,
That's a really good point.
it is. Probably so. Because also, if they had a Tony scrambled egg platter, like 8 eggs.
Yeah, I'm a 5 egg guy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I go more than 3 at a time too. I get it, but we're not.
Yeah, okay. Well, enough of that. We'll talk about the naming of a Tudor's biscuit later in the show. As I said at the very start, this is a bye week, which means West Virginia, obviously, football is not playing, but it has been a busy week. We recapped the Arizona game on Sunday, and then on Monday, Neil Brown held his weekly press conference. But on Tuesday, he dropped the biggest piece of news that has come out from this week, and that was that Jordan Lesley is no longer the WVU defensive coordinator. He has been relieved of his duties, and Jeff Coons, who has been serving as the inside linebackers coach and the special teams coordinator, will take over for the final 4 games of this regular season. So significant in a bunch of different fronts. We'll talk about the inner workings of what will it mean to West Virginia's defense, but just the mere fact that a decision and a move was made in season is certainly a very, very big rarity, especially at West Virginia University. Hoppy's been around 4 decades plus. Greg Hunter also, I've been in, this is 41 for me. I can never recall an in-season coaching decision made like this. However, it has become more prevalent in the college football space because higher dollars are being paid to the coaches in these positions, whether it's the head coach, whether it's a coordinator or an assistant. And with more money comes more expectation. And when you don't hit those numbers that are needed, then a possible move could be made, and they did do that. So that's kind of the overview of that. Significant.
Hop, I'll start here on this because I think we need to say it when we start this discussion. I've said it to both of you on other forums, Hoppy on your show and
Yes.
Tony. I think at these moments, and listen, people do whatever they want. Doesn't matter what I say to do or encourage. I'm going to take a moment and have some grace with Jordan Lesley and his family here for a guy that just lost his job. Kids are going to have to change school. Family's going to be uprooted for a guy and a family that gave the most they could possibly give over the last 6 years to help make this program better, to help make the community better. Jordan has been very generous with his time to this show and to media members in general, and certainly wish them the best of luck moving forward for a family that's had its lives turned upside down. I know he's paid very handsomely. That's the risk-reward part of this business, but I do think it's appropriate before you dive into everything that went wrong to take a moment to just say thanks to Jordan Lesley for what he gave to this community and this program, and wish him the best of luck moving forward.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Totally agree with you 100%. For whatever reason that it didn't work, don't know. Will we ever know? Not exactly sure, but it just wasn't working. That doesn't make you bad. That just makes you, in this particular situation, with all of the pieces around you, it was not happening. And the ultimate goal, right, in their business is to, not allow points. And West Virginia was in the bottom of those categories in total defense, passing defense, and scoring defense. They're in either 13, 14, or 15 right now in the Big 12 Conference. Solid run-stop team. They're number 3 in the league right now. But the fact that you've got passing teams coming up in 3 of the next 4 games to close the regular season, Neil Brown is obviously thinking that a change will improve the team's chances going forward. Whether it does or not, we'll see in the next month, but that was the reason why the move was made.
I got a lot to unpack on this.
Sure.
And I'll start by building on what both of you said, and that is the personal side of this, because you are talking about human beings. You're talking about people who'd worked together for, 10 years? And I have fired people, and I have been in on firings, and I have been fired. It's been a long time, but you never forget that. Okay, that is an upheaval.
Mm-hmm.
That's a life-changing upheaval because of what it says. Not only about losing your job, but it says that someone is saying you failed, and that's hard to accept. So it is very traumatic. Obviously, it's more traumatic for the person who got fired, but for the person who does the firing, it's traumatic as well. Number one. So that's true, and you're right. Jordan Lesley's been a friend of this program. Has never been anything but great with us. So you hate to see that for him on a personal level. On a more detached level, I tell you what a firing does. It gets people's attention. So anybody in that building now, and I'm not talking about making people scared, but anyone in that building, they just went, ooh, this is real. This is real. The DC just got fired because the head coach does not think he's getting the job done. I better make sure I'm doing my job. That's the message everybody gets. They probably feel bad for Jordan Lesley. They might even question the decision, but inevitably you internalize those things. So you're thinking, how does this affect me? I better make sure I'm getting myself in gear. Players say, ooh, this just got my attention. So a firing gets people's attention. And I don't know if it's a good firing or bad firing. That's TBA. If West Virginia gives up 40 points against Cincinnati, you might say, well, it was a bad firing. But if the defense is better, you might say, okay, this was the right decision. But it gets you focused in a hurry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll add on that. I'll go ahead. Finish what you're doing.
Well, I got more, so go ahead and build.
Well, I was just going to say, you hope that's what it does. The intent of the firing is to get people's attention.
Okay, yeah.
There were some people whose attention wasn't got up to this point. So sometimes what also happens in this situations, because I've been in locker rooms where this is the case, guys are looking around going, well, they're not talking about me. I mean, he didn't get fired because I didn't do my job.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'll get he didn't do his job. So there's some of that,
Yeah,
too.
yes.
So you can't assume that the message that was intended is received by everybody. And I think that's part of what you're looking for moving forward is Jordan took the fall on this. There's a lot of blame to go around. You can do a lot of finger pointing, and you can go to a lot of different people around that entity that you could say, hey, you weren't doing it either. You weren't doing it. You weren't doing it. There's a lot of that, Hop. Mm-hmm. So one guy got removed. There's a lot of people that should be doing what you just said and saying, all right, what do I have to do to be better so that either I'm not gone or I don't get another coach fired? So there's a lot of work to be done here. This wasn't an automatic cleanup because one guy is removed from his position.
Fair point. Good context to that. Another point is if you listen to Neil Brown throughout the season, and again, we talk a lot about the fact that Neil Brown's pretty candid. And I went back and looked at his comments from his Monday press conference. Let me just pick out a few of them and talk about the Arizona game. Quote, very poor in the fourth quarter. I'm not hiding from that. Didn't like the way we finished. Our pass defense wasn't good enough. I'm not avoiding that or ignorant of that. It hasn't been good enough all year. He went on to say, and this was about the play of Trey Lathan being covering McMillan twice in a row. And he raised questions about that. He said, once I can understand it, but twice, why are you in the Tampa 2? And Trey Lathan ends up guarding McMillan. Why is that the case? And Trey Lathan felt bad that he had failed, but was he put in a position to fail? Neil Brown also said Kansas State in the first half is the best we played, but they got some things on us in that coverage in the second half. He probably talked in that press conference a half dozen times or more specifically about defensive failures. Now, at the time, you're just thinking what? Because it's Monday. You're thinking, okay, once again, defensive problems. They got to get it corrected, week off, et cetera, et cetera. Now, after Tuesday, you're thinking, wow, that laid the groundwork. Now it becomes the picture becomes clearer when you see what Neil Brown was thinking. And by the way, another key point is that was, and Brad, you and I have talked about this, that was Neil Brown's decision that he informed that wasn't Ren Baker come in and say, you better fire somebody this week. This was Neil Brown's decision because if, as you've pointed out, if it's the AD saying you better fire somebody, now you got a real problem. So that's what I got on that.
Yeah.
Well, it remains to be seen if it works. That's your hope, is that for these final 4 games that it does provide a spark, like you said, that there are some guys that stand up in that locker room and take some accountability and play better or listen better, or whatever the problem has been that has caused multiple busts for big plays, that gets buttoned up. Because, yeah, as we talked on your show the other day, you're getting some teams that want to throw the football.
Yeah.
3 of the next 4 like to throw the ball, including at Texas Tech, that we know what they've been for 20 years. Baylor and Jake Spavital, we've seen that here. He's going to go deep and attack that secondary constantly, right, ad nauseum. So you better be ready, and Cincinnati throws as well. So you're going to get to see some results right away, but it better be a bunch of people standing forth and giving better performances there.
So we'll find out. So Jeff Kuntz comes in, as I said. He has been at WVU since 2020 and came from Ole Miss. So his tenure goes all the way back to 2004. He got into this business as a graduate assistant. He served as a GA at Auburn and then at Texas. Then he was a linebackers coach at Texas. Iowa State, secondary and special teams, back to Texas, defensive quality control. Then Louisiana Tech, Cincinnati, and he was at Cincinnati from 14 through 16 and served as a co-defensive coordinator with the Bearcats in 2016. Then 17 and 18 at North Texas, the Ole Miss deal for 1 season in 2019, then here at WVU since 2020. Good guy, and the hope now is his voice, as you guys said, makes everyone step it up. Got to step up.
Yeah.
I mean, just go back to every game this season. There have been just noticeable pass defense problems, wide open receivers, and it's cost the Mountaineers games, plain and simple. The Pitt game was there for the taking and could not get it done. So we'll see. And you make a change, like I said, extremely unique. And how it plays out, we'll find out in a month.
I defer to you and Hunter, but like you guys, I don't remember an in-season.
No.
Do you?
No. We had one in August once at the start, just before camp started, but it wasn't performance-based. It was something else. And other than that, I can't remember.
Yeah. Very rare.
Can't remember. All right. So the Mountaineers with practices and rest this week, and they get ready for Cincinnati. They'll start full-scale preparation on Sunday. Like West Virginia, Cincinnati is off this week. There are 6 Big 12 teams that are off this weekend, and the Mountaineers and the Bearcats will get it together. So the first league game for West Virginia at Cincinnati since our Big East days. So we're going back more than a decade.
Nippert Stadium.
Nippert. Last time we played him was at Paul Brown.
Oh, was it?
Have played him there 10 times. In the city of Cincinnati. Have won 9.
Different league, so I will assume the replay official will be a different person than the one that absolutely botched, missed, screwed up royally. Talk about people that should be removed from their position.
Referring to the
Isaiah Peed involved in a fumble/non-fumble.
Yeah. Called it a fumble. Or they called it
I think they called it a fumble on the field, then reversed that. I think is how it went. Whatever it did, it went against the Mountaineers, and it was a horrific call.
Seems to me, if I recall correctly, the athletic director of the university at that time didn't appreciate the call, and he paid a visit to the that room next to our broadcast booth that said, Big East official replay, no visitors allowed. Seemed as though he missed that part of the sign. Gave it a couple to get in.
Won't confirm or deny that. May have had a good view of that, but if that may have happened allegedly, he was right.
Well, sure, Eddie was right. Yeah, he went right in.
I don't remember that.
Got screwed.
Missed it. So anyway, assume it'll be a different person, different league at this point, so maybe they'll handle the replay a little more judiciously.
You think that was karma? That call was karma from when their kicker, Jonathan Ruffin, hit the upright and gave Rich Rodriguez his first road victory.
It's a big win.
It was a huge
That
one.
was a big win. That was a big exhale.
Yes.
When that thing doinked.
It was a massive doinker going from our right to left on your radio dial. That was a huge one.
Yeah.
Well, that might have just been karma from being told the Mountaineer couldn't bring the prop into the stadium by certain people.
And
so
I'll tell you,
that might have just been a karma coming back on.
Yeah. And since we're also doing all of this
delayed karma,
stream of consciousness stuff, I maintain to this moment that the year that West Virginia, is this the same year, right? If you don't beat Cincinnati at Cincinnati because their quarterback breaks his leg on a sack, and they had to put in Munchie Legoo. Remember?
Very good Munchie Legoo reference.
Yeah, Munchie Legoo had to come in. You get beat that day.
Yeah.
I forget who the young man was that was their quarterback. But
What year?
Is that a Zach Kalaris?
Very good.
Oh, my gosh.
Zach Kalaris, thank you.
Hoppy, we're not just messing around over here. You want to go deep on old school rival? We'll do it.
Okay.
We'll give you Munchie Legoo and Zach Kalaris here. Here we go.
However, you know and I know that that's just stuck up there somewhere, and for some reason you know it.
Fragmented hard space.
Yeah,
So Munchie Legoo had to come in, wasn't ready to play. We win. You don't beat them that day. I just had because Kalaris was throwing it, and he gets hurt, and that was it. I think you get beat. But what happens if you don't win that game? What happens?
I don't remember.
I think, right? I'll go look it up. But I think, if that doesn't happen, well,
I'll just say this. While you're looking
I got a thought on that.
While you're looking up what you're going to look up, I will say this, Hop.
Yes.
That little 2 minutes is exactly why I like Cincinnati being back in the league.
Yeah.
Because rivalries are born of a couple things. Proximity helps, number one. And number two, weird things that you can be offended over or a grievance can arise, right?
Yes.
Whether it's the fault of anybody that still exists or not, you can bring that up. And we just gave you a bunch of them right there that go back. So I'm thrilled. In all seriousness, I am thrilled Cincinnati's in the league. I think that's good for West Virginia to have the Bearcats.
Mountaineer fans can get there.
I think it's great.
Munchie Legoo is with Benedict College. He's their quarterback coach.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Munchie.
One of the all-time great names.
Okay, I just want to say one thing because of one thing. So 2000. So yeah. So
What
West
year?
Virginia. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What?
So yeah.
What year are you?
2011.
Okay.
If you check this out, if he doesn't get hurt and you lose that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then at that point they were 23 in the country. Cincinnati was 23. You beat them 24-21, and that was in Paul Brown Stadium. You come back, you beat Pitt 21-20. Then you win the game at USF.
Yeah.
When
Stedman
fell on top of the ball and he almost, dragged
Kick
it.
it.
Oh,
Was
I
that
know
such
where
Orange
you're
Bowl
going.
years where you're going?
You don't go to the Orange Bowl.
Bowl.
If you lose the game at Cincinnati, you don't go to the Orange Bowl. You don't score 70 points. And I'd say this. Listen, I'm going to go one step further, and I believe this. I don't think Dana Holgerson is the coach at West Virginia for as long as he was if West Virginia doesn't beat Cincinnati on that day, because you don't see Clemson, you don't score 70. It completely resets the whole mindset. I truly believe that.
I wouldn't argue that. I'll also go further. You also reset Clemson's program.
Yes, you did.
You went from absolutely embarrassing them on a national stage to they turned into a dynasty immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like changed their mode of operations, changed how they did things.
Yeah.
You helped create their dynasty.
Correct. Put them into it. Yeah, absolutely. Got their defensive coordinator fired the day after the bowl game.
So who knows if Dabo survives as long as he has survived, given what that night looked like before they changed how they do things.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Lost to Louisville that year.
Yeah, that was
Beat Rutgers.
So yeah, so good rivalry here. I like this.
Yeah.
so
I
that's
like
next
this game.
Anyway, may have gone off on a tangent there, but it'll be West Virginia
First time
and
on this show.
Cincinnati, a high noon kick, and Cincinnati is better than people had thought that they would be. When you started the season, you looked at the Cincinnati game and you go, you'll go in there and get Cincinnati. So you just hope that West Virginia, who has played well on the road, can go out there and get another W and then come home for the final two games of the regular season at home. You go Baylor, UCF, and then you got one more, obviously, on what would you call that? If it's Black Friday and you're playing on Saturday, what's that, like Gray Saturday? Just kind of goes down on the gradient
Just
scale.
Saturday.
Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Just Saturday.
Saturday after Thanksgiving. All right.
That was a weird schedule that year. Opened with Marshall, then Norfolk State, Maryland, LSU, Bowling Green, Connecticut. Seems like a weird schedule, doesn't it?
Yeah. Isaiah Peed had 2 touchdowns in that loss.
Mm-hmm.
Munchie, so Caleris was 7 for 11 for 70 yards, and Munchie came in and went 10 of 21 with an interception and no touchdowns.
The rare backup against the Mountaineers that didn't go enter into Heisman contention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unlike who's the
Jet
guy?
Duffy.
Jet Duffy.
Jet Duffy. Gino threw for 372 in that game. That's how crazy this is. You talk about different philosophies. West Virginia threw for 372, ran for 32.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different style of play.
Line up and throw it with that group.
Tavon caught 9 balls for 126.
Part of why you're throwing it.
Yeah.
Stedman caught 6 for 104.
Part of why you're
So
throwing
those
it.
guys went 15 receptions for 230.
Well, you got an NFL quarterback, got an NFL receiver, you got another 2 NFL receivers. Yeah, I'm going to throw it.
Yeah. Current assistant coach Ryan Nealon, one catch for 8. So he can tell the guys this week coming in. 3 Guys Before the Game is brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. And if you're a business owner, it's never been more important. With everyone working hybrid or remote or here or there, or I don't know where they are, you got to have a great business phone system. Keep track of what's going on in your world, and that's what Comax Business Systems offers to you, from 1 line to 1,000 lines, competitively priced, and financing is available all the way around the horn, whether you want to rent, buy, lease, whatever it might be. Contact Comax Business Systems if you think it's time for your phone system to be changed, updated, revised. Visit them at comaxwv.com. That's comaxwv.com. Three Guys also brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. You can put a business phone system in a great pontoon boat. As I said, we have been cheating Mother Nature. We have been absolutely cheating on Mother Nature. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, located in St. Albans, has a tremendous selection of boats when it comes to pontoons. They sell the Avalon pontoon boat, 100% made and manufactured in the United States of America. As a matter of fact, in the state of Michigan. And now, with the season winding toward a little bit of the end, might be a great opportunity for you to take advantage of some fantastic season-ending deals. Also, those G3 John boats. So it's more than pontoons. It's any kind of boat. They got it at Lou Wendell Marine Sales, heading towards 50 years in the biz. All right.
Take a guess how many touchdown passes Geno had that year.
Crazy number. So let's go.
30 plus, 32.
Tony?
So you're playing 13 games? 13 games.
So that. I'm low.
No.
So
no.
if
I'm not.
Yeah, so 3 a game would be 39. So let's go 36.
31.
That's a ton.
31. Completed 66% of his passes, 31 touchdown passes.
How many picks?
7.
I was going to say 6.
33-7. So he was over 4-1.
But do the interception rate. Seven picks off
Gazillion
2,400,000 passes.
That's a pretty good year.
Yeah, you got a chance.
Pretty good talent.
That's
There.
a good
got a
team.
chance.
A good team.
All right, as we said, we'll get into more football in a little bit with Textual Healing. We also, by the way, I should have brought this up earlier. We're going to do in Textual Healing, we have a piece of content that has never, ever been done on this program before. Hoppy gave us one. Hoppy gave us an autoclave. It'll be a first for 3 Guys. We'll make that announcement coming up.
What about our goodies? That's coming up too, right?
We'll talk about those as well. It was unbelievable.
By
the way, happy Halloween. All 3 of us dressed up as 3 Guys podcast hosts. Hope you enjoy it. You ready? So do you want you want the music for Spreads on Stats, even though the Mountaineer basketball team hasn't played a regular season game, but you're going to bust into the numbers?
I still have some numbers. Yeah, we'll do some numbers. They won't be as in-depth as usual, but we'll do numbers.
All right, let's
So
do
check
this.
the numbers. We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes a heater.
Let's jump into the analytics portion of the show.
Ready? 5, 4.
Spreads on Stats is brought to us by the Conley CPA Group. In one word, they are terrific. Who are they and what do they do? Well, they're a full-service public accounting and consultation firm serving clients throughout the state of West Virginia, and they've been doing that for nearly 40 years now, which means, like a good wine, they've matured. They know exactly what's going on. Technology's also changed a lot since they went into business, so they now offer the ability for you to outsource your accounting and your CFO services. You don't have to have a bean counter in your building. They got bean counters in other buildings. That'll do it. They use that internet. They'll come right in there and do your accounting for you. That's a deal. Remove the stress and the time associated with dealing with all that stuff. Let Conley CPA Group do it. You can do what you want to do. That's why you got into business. You didn't get into business, right, saying like, geez, I'd like to spend a lot of time filling out governmental forms and figuring out tax law. Conley CPA said, that's okay. We got it. We'll take care of it.
I mean, the Conley folks got into business to do that.
That's why they did it.
Yeah.
You know?
So you didn't have to.
So you don't have to, right? All right, bingo. All right, so as I said
I
earlier,
think Mike loves sitting down figuring out tax code and getting into all that.
Oh, they like that stuff.
Mike's one of the good ones. Mike's over there at Conley CPA Group. Here we go. Let's jump in. As I said, the greatest roster flip since 1944 for WVU basketball. 44 was the only year we can find in which the complete roster changed from one year to the next. Right? So World War II is going on, and things obviously are just sporadic. And so this year, West Virginia returns one player, Ofri Neve. He averaged 2 points a game. So pretty much as close as you can get to starting from scratch. So, Senator, question for you first. May I offer a question?
Well, sure. Open forum here.
What was your premise in doing this? Like, how do you meld together a group that hasn't played yet together?
Yeah, so what I did for this, we'll talk about, and the same goes for Robert Morris, your opponent. There's, normally, Hop, I'll come in here as we get moving in the season, and we'll talk scouting reports and what you need to do and do this for this team, and here's the matchup to exploit. Don't know is the answer to this one, right? That's why coaches talk about these early seasons are really difficult. You're going to look at a Robert Morris team that is almost completely overhauled too, brings back 3 or 4 key returnees, but has brought new guys in. Tony mentions the West Virginia side of it. So what I did, guys, and we can start this either in any direction you want. I do have a little bit of a Robert Morris preview, just a couple guys to watch with them and some numbers. Or
Andy Toole's still the coach there.
Correct, 15th season, if I'm not mistaken.
15 years.
We can also jump into, I did some numbers on Toby O'Connie, Tucker DeVries, and Javon Small that people will maybe find some interest in and something to watch as the season gets going, and watch those guys and see how their game has changed from last year or how it's remained similar. Which of those would you prefer to start with? Start with the West Virginia side of things, then go to the scouting report?
Yes.
It's not really a scouting report, it's just an overview.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk Toby O'Connie for a second.
Can we say that they beat Wake Forest yet?
No.
Okay.
Do not say that. You'll probably get in trouble.
All right, go ahead.
NCAA's all over that.
Toby O'Connie, Hoppy.
Yes.
Really interesting piece to this team, because you talk about a dude that has a pro body, really long, 6'7", 6'8", long arms, super athletic, is going to be a guy that's called upon to be a stopper for a wing type of player on the other team. The other team's best wing, which, oh, by the way, will be an NBA player every night when you get into the league.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to ask Toby to guard an NBA player. So his defensive performance this year is going to help determine how far this team goes. But offensively, he gives you a nice option as well. But here's where you watch where his game's evolved a little bit, Tony. 53% of his points in his career have come from in the lane. So once you see him, that will make some sense given his size and his body type and his athleticism. Playing at Duquesne and Illinois, Chicago, you could see where he would take guys and either back them down or just athletically be able to get to the rim. Where he's worked extremely hard since coming to West Virginia is on his outside shot and his three-point shot, and has become somebody that can knock down some threes. I think there'll be a couple games at least where you look up and he's going to be a guy that went off. You know how West Virginia's had that over the last couple of years where it's not your best three-point shooter, it's not your guy that takes the most, but you need a guy some nights, couple nights,
gets
oiled
oiled
up, a couple
up,
different guys that all of a sudden busts out 4, and you're in a game late or maybe win a game that you maybe thought you weren't going to. I think Toby can be that guy from a shooting perspective. He likes his most frequent spot, the left corner 3. Keep an eye on that.
Left corner.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Left corner.
All right, so on the Mountaineer floor then, so second half, it'll be the corner toward the tunnel where they're coming out. First half, it'll be the corner next to the opposing team's bench.
Correct.
So diagonal.
Watch Toby in the left corner.
Left corner 3.
Sure.
Boom.
Sure. All right, Tucker DeVries.
Heard of him.
Excited about Tucker. Brings a lot to the table. Is going to do a bunch of different things. Hop, he has averaged 1.67 made threes in the season opener.
Okay.
In his career.
All right.
So just under 2 threes per game to start. Best spot for Tucker?
Wait a second, timeout.
Yeah.
Over under on 1.7 threes for Tucker on Monday against Robert Moore.
Over.
I'm going over too. 2.2?
2.5.
I say makes 3.
I 3 would be very doable.
Yeah.
3 would be very doable. His best spot, left wing. Shot 44% last year from the left wing. His most frequent spot is the top of the key. He's another guy, though. He's fascinating to see how his game is at this level because he can do so many different things. Like if you're guarding him, you can't just come in and say, we're going to run you off the three-point line. Although that would be my first thing I would try and do with him is get somebody up on him and say, you're not going to beat us from 3. Because if he gets cranked up, look out. I mean, he's going to shoot it as well as you've seen anybody come through here can shoot it when he's hot. But he can also, he's not afraid to put it on the floor and get by you and take a little mid-range pull-up. He's a guy, he got 31% of his points last year in the paint. So he'll get in the paint. He'll work on that little move inside, a little fadeaway back to create some space.
He'll pull back there. He'll give you a little old school fadeaway in the lane.
He's got a nice repertoire. He really does. Can do many things too, Hop. He'll distribute at times as
Looking
well.
forward to seeing
So there's Tucker. All right, then Javon Small. Let's talk about him for a second. Tremendous point guard. I think the thing about him, doesn't he just feel like he's effortless out there? he never feels like he's struggling to get what he wants to get, be it a shot or a pass or on the defense. He just is, he's smooth. He is fun to watch.
Smooth is the best word. Does not labor to get stuff done.
So last year, he was one of the best mid-range shooters in the country in terms of percentage, but he didn't take a ton of them. But he can be dangerous, too. If you want to try and run him off the three-point line, which you probably should, he was a 37% shooter from three, you probably want to push him off the line. But he'll either get right to the basket on you, or he'll pull up and hit a mid-range as well before he distributes. So keep an eye on him. The thing to watch with Javon, too, he's one of the best defensive rebounding guards in the nation. And that'll be important, Hop, because you're giving up some size at the 5. You're going to need other guys to rebound. Javon will be a guy, won't shock me if he averages 5-6 rebounds a game this year.
You know, we were talking to WVU co-head coach, associate,
I think.
Associate, second in charge.
It's just a title.
Same thing. Chester Frazier on Monday. He made a great point that I never really thought about, because Javon Small's rebounding numbers stand out for a point guard. You go like, whoa, why? Chester Frazier said, well, he and I, think a lot alike. No one ever blocks out the point guard, because the opposing team's point guard is getting ready to go on a run. He says,
or going to get the ball.
Going
he
to
wants
get the
outlet ball.
He wants to go at the outlet ball, and it's a free run to the rim for the point guard. Like, no one's coming to get you. So he said that's why he's such a good rebounder.
Then who gets back on defense? Because you give up something there, right?
Well, he's not going to come down with 6 or 7 offensive rebounds. He can sneak in and get a couple offensive rebounds. He'll be more important on the defensive end, where you don't want to give up offensive rebounds to the other team. That'll be a thing to watch with this West Virginia team. That's a big thing with Darren, right? Do not turn it over offensively. Do not give up offensive rebounds to the opposing team. So you're going to ask all 5 guys to hit the defensive glass there.
Okay.
Yeah, those are his 2 biggest things. We talked to him. He said turnovers and do not allow offensive rebounds, i.e. defensive rebound. You better get all the rebounds that are there. Two biggest things.
So those are my 3 main West Virginia points.
Okay.
Should we go through more of the roster, or wait till after we wrap up Monday and just see how guys perform?
You probably don't have enough data yet on Amani Hansberry to really get a good feel yet, because they're going to ask him to do things that he hasn't been asked to do in the past.
That's a fair point.
Is a delight for him, which is, hey, go out there and shoot it from distance. They were saying, green light, you got to go. And so you probably don't have a good feel yet on him.
Correct. Hasn't played enough minutes in that role, because he's going to distribute as well. They're going to run offense through him, Hop, bring him out, make the other big that you're playing against, right? That's one way you combat a lack of size in the 5, is you're going to come out and say to their big, okay, come out. Can you guard us out here? Try and open the back of that lane for some free flow movement. So Hansberry's, listen, we could say that about 7 different guys. There's a lot of important guys to see how this team does. Hansberry's right up that list, because he is going to be undersized at his position most nights, but that's also going to create some advantages and make you a little bit different. And we've seen West Virginia teams, football or basketball, when you're different, they've had some success doing that.
Sincere Harris is also another guy who's going to play a ton, but we don't have enough data yet, because he redshirted last season after playing a handful of games at Illinois. But again, talking to Chester Frazier this week, when they were at Illinois and he was a true freshman, they played UCLA, right? And he just locked down a dude that was on his way to the league. So I do think, and Mountaineer fans who saw him against the University of Charleston saw that he has a defensive intensity that is similar to Javon Carter. Don't say I said he's Javon Carter. I'm just saying, philosophically, he's that type of a guy that'll just get up into your stuff and won't let you go.
I think athletically, though, too, I'm very comfortable saying that guy moves as well laterally defensively. So I started in 96 here. That you're going to be hard-pressed to find somebody that can move laterally as well in a one-on-one defensive situation as Harris has done.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a guy, the best guard on the other team is going to get Harris, and that's critical. If he can have the success that he's had early in locking down various NBA prospects, which that wasn't the only. You said, where was that kid? UCLA?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't necessarily the only one that has had good success against defensively. If he can continue that and stay out of foul trouble there, I mean, he's got a chance to be a real difference maker on this team. Never mind, whatever he gives you offensively is a bonus. Defensively at his size, and that's one of the weird things, Tony, about this team. We keep saying you're disadvantaged at size in the 5, but I think that's the specific point there, because at the guard position, you're not. You're going to throw Harris out there at 6'3", 6'4", that's rangy and strong. You're going to bring Jonathan Powell in at 6'6", that can play the 2 or the 3. So you have some positional size at other places, just not necessarily the 5. Sincere is one of those guys. Yeah, he's going to be a valuable piece of this.
So, like, you're scared of getting busted by the NCAA. Is that your issue?
No.
Is that why you ran away from? Was that why you ran away from Sincere Harris?
No, because there's a million people that want to put box scores out there when this happens. What I am doing is respecting the agreement between Steve Forbes and Darren that they weren't going to publicize or talk about it. That's you think I'm worried about the NCAA rules?
Sounded to me
Hoppy,
like
there
you
aren't
did.
NCAA rules. You think I'm worried about that?
Well,
No, but I'm honoring the agreement between the two coaches.
So you're saying that he locked somebody down against Wake Forest without saying it?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying Sincere Harris has had very good success against high-level players throughout his career.
Watch out. West Virginia will have to self-report.
They probably don't even have that form anymore, do they, Brad? They're like, what? Hey, where's the self-report form? We don't have them anymore.
There's nobody at the NCAA to send it to. Who would you send the form to?
I don't know.
They're sending a filing just like, I don't know.
All right, so that's good. So that's 5. I mean, there's a bunch of guys. We could go through every guy on the roster. We'll do some of that as we move throughout the season and the games, and we do Tuesday's wrap-up from Monday's game. We'll talk about some guys that performed. There's a bunch of them.
Give me Robert Morris, Colonials.
So the great unknown with them is, like everybody, they've brought in a bunch of new additions. But that was a team last year. They had an uncharacteristic rough season for them. They just won 10 games total, 6 in conference. They've undergone some significant staff turnover and player turnover. Their challenge last year, and again, I'll give you some last year stuff, but Hoppy, quite frankly, it doesn't matter at all, right? They really struggled defensively, one of the worst defensive teams in the country. Ken Palm this year has them projected 8th of 11th in the Horizon League. Also, don't know how much you can put in. I think Ken Palm's the Bible when it comes to basketball, but you're going with a lot of incomplete data here. So I don't know what that stands for or means. Has West Virginia projected as an 80-63 winner in this one, again, with an incomplete data set on both sides.
So they're saying West Virginia by 17.
That particular projection, yes.
Okay.
I will give you one. I will give you one in the weeds, since I knew you were going to ask me.
Sure.
I'll give you one in the weeds. Doesn't matter at all for this particular game on Monday, but just kind of a fun number. Robert Morris last year, small sample size, but they led the country in made three-pointers to tie the game or take the lead late in the final seconds.
That's bizarre, dude, because they won 10 games.
I know. How about that?
You talk about small sample size.
So there you go.
I'm going to
They
guess.
had the clutch gene last year as a team. Here's a guy to watch for them. 6'5", Josh Amojifo. Hope I'm saying that right. You'll have that worked out by Monday. D2 transfer from Gannon.
Up there in Erie, PA.
Had a great season last year, did Gannon. He was a second-team All-American. So that's an interesting dude. But here's what you'll have to watch with him on Monday. He absolutely assaulted the rim last year. 49% of his shots were at the rim. Like that's a dude
guy.
That's a 6'5", 6'5" athlete in D2 on a really good team just said, get out of the way. I'm just going right to the rim. You figure out how to stop me. Can he do that against West Virginia? Will he get locked up on the perimeter and not be able to get to the hoop? My guess is he'll want to try and get to the basket because West Virginia won't have necessarily a traditional shot blocker except when Eduardo Andre's in there. But so keep an eye on Emoji. I just thought that's an interesting move. We've seen that here in the Mountain East Conference the last couple of years. There's a guy or two that will move up to a mid-major school after playing at the Division II level. And Hop, you've heard me talk for years. There's some really talented basketball players at the D2 level. So that's one to watch. Point guard for them's a new player, Cam Woods. Cam Woods played in 13 games last year for an NC State team that went to the Final Four. Now,
when were the 13 games? Like November and December, or did he play?
Played in 13 games last year for NC State. The year before, he averaged 17 a game at North Carolina A&T. So,
how many?
17 a game. North Carolina A&T. Cam Woods. So that might be the lucky soul that draws Sincere Harris to start.
Yeah. That's an interesting career path. So he went North Carolina A&T, North Carolina State, now Robert Morris. Huh. Okay.
Their best. They have a couple good returnees too that'll be somebody to keep eyes on. 6'4" Justice Williams gave him 12.5 points a game last year. He took a quarter of Robert Morris's shots. So he was a high usage guy last year, took a lot of threes. And then they have a 6'9" guy that played on Spain's under-20 team this summer. He was really good, started their final 6 games and was really good in those final 6 games. Got you nearly 8 rebounds a game, 3 offensive rebounds, scored in double figures in 3 of those 6. So he was an interesting player.
Sure.
He'll run. He got 20% of his points in transition in his final 5 games. So that's a 6'9" guy that they'll get
Going
up and down the floor with.
matriculating down the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, matriculating down the field.
There you go. I mean, I can give you more. That's probably a good overview.
Yep, 7 o'clock is the tip time on Monday night, and it's a historic day, right? I mean, West Virginia has not had a whole lot of basketball coaches, and it'll be the first regular season game for Darian DeVries coming off of last season's interim status with Josh Eilert, and so here they are. I think first games are always really super important. I think for when you're a new coach, because you finally get the feel. Okay, this is what it's going to be. This is going to feel like. We had the exhibition game, right? And like Darren, like the introductions are getting ready to be given. The carpet's getting ready to roll out. And he looks at Brad and goes like, "Okay, where am I supposed to stand here?" Because, you don't know, right? It's just like, okay, so this carpet comes this way, and our guys are there. Just the little teeny thing. It's new for everybody.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to get a feel for how this whole thing works.
It is part of why I've said this before. It's why college basketball has an advantage over football, where you can get some of these games, right? You're going to have a bunch of games before conference play begins, so you can get used to the building and get used to where you come out, and these players can get used to the rims and the shooting backdrop, which is important. It matters.
You scaling down there size-wise? I saw you giving your notes today. You had what's going on there?
Well, I just had a technology issue this morning. Didn't have the right play call. Bad communication coming in from the sideline. The headset thing wasn't working. I couldn't get the call.
How about that, Hop?
What's that?
The helmet deal?
Yeah.
And the Big 12.
This is a major snafu.
It's a major snafuage. So
I did not hear this.
Okay, you didn't know about this? So you came out yesterday. In essence, here's what the deal is. The company that's providing the helmet to coach communication forgot one little codicil in the Farber College Constitution, and that was that the information coach to player, right?
Yeah.
Was supposed to be encrypted.
Oh, and it's not.
But it wasn't. So if you knew what the frequency was, you could get a hand scanner and you could get to the frequency and just go like, listen.
Is that right? Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Now, no one is saying yet that they got absolutely screwed by this, but
Reports say no accusations against any
Right.
particular Big 12 schools.
the Big 12 did have all of the teams that are playing this weekend send their equipment back to the manufacturer so that they could put in the encryption, whatever, software, chip, whatever it takes to encrypt it. But that was a whoops. Yeah. You got Donnie down at Star City Fire Department on the handheld scanner listening to play calls.
Texas Tech AD Kirby Hokut has raised some questions about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has.
How about that?
Yeah.
Somebody driving in.
Talk to a guy.
I had a similar issue. My headsets were set back for repair. I didn't have the right stuff.
I got a message from a guy that I know that's in this business, and he told me he noticed it. He's in the business. He noticed it week 1.
We got a fire on Mon Boulevard and a run left on.
Here's the problem.
On
The
two.
league sent out, or the company sent out to every school. Here's your frequency. Okay.
Yeah.
But it also had every other school's frequency. So all you
So I
had to
assume
do.
they were trying to streamline for visiting team or home teams so you can get everybody dialed in when they get to the stadium.
Yeah, it's like,
so you
well,
make it easier,
here's
but-
your frequency, but like they gave everyone else's, so all you go like, oh, really? So-and-so team's on this? I'll just turn that on and tune it in. Oh, okay.
But there's no evidence anybody's done that?
No, because I
Not
read
as of now.
I read more about it, and
per
it said there
reports.
was you were only hearing one aspect of it, and then someone who's an administrator or someone in the Big 12 said there's no way that you could even change it, like it's happening so fast, but whatever. It just makes it good, right? It makes it interesting. You got to have a little something. Hey, you know what else we got? Speaking of new,
What's that?
new month.
Yeah.
Yeah. well, today's 31st, well, we're recording, but tomorrow's November 1. That means we got new promotions at Go-Mart. Listen to this one.
Okay.
Put this day down on your calendar, Tuesday.
Right.
Tuesday. November and December on Tuesdays, triple holiday cheer. Go-Mart's got you covered. November, December, rewards members, if you got the rewards card, you earn triple points on every one of your purchases on Tuesday. If you're not a rewards member yet, sign up at gomart.com or through the Go-Mart app. Instantly start earning those points and triple on Tuesdays, November and December. So it says here, whether you're stocking up for the holidays or grabbing a quick snack, Go-Mart's Triple Point Tuesdays will have you jingling all the way to savings.
Let's say on Tuesday, you go do your civic responsibility, then you want to vote and you want to reward yourself.
Yes. It's almost like getting paid to vote.
Easier.
Maybe not.
Maybe watch out on
Yeah,
that.
maybe not. Maybe I didn't say that. All right, I got to do this because we changed the computer, so I have to find Textual Healing. Probably could have done this.
That's all right.
Yeah, probably could have done it.
Could have done that in our pre-show meeting.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, well. Meanwhile,
Fighting Rich Rod's got a big win last night.
I watched it. That's a huge win. This Senator was that a 17-game win streak that Liberty had at home?
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. One of the longer ones in the entire country.
It was back and forth between that and something. You know, that the World Series, and I know people saying, oh, it's going to be 7 games, going to be the greatest series ever. And even though it only went 5 games, it was an incredible, entertaining series, even though it was 5 games.
Yeah, I agree. There was high drama there. Yeah.
So you got your 7 games worth in 5 games, right? I mean, I just think the way those games went.
That's how you're taking it? You got your 7-game drama in 5?
I think so.
There was a lot of it. Well, that's a tough offseason for Yankee fans.
Oh, my God. Freddie Freeman have a good series?
He did. I don't know why he didn't hit a home run last night. Why didn't he just keep doing that?
He was off last night.
He's soft.
Only drove in a couple runs.
All right, let's do this. I'm ready. I'm ready. He's Textual Healing, your opportunity to be heard. Brought to us by episode800.com. We're gearing up for the holidays. I think about a little bit less than 2 weeks away, we're going to put our holiday stuff out there, which will include that unbelievable holiday treat popcorn. That stuff is absolutely addictive.
It is good.
Speaking of treats, I got something else here I'll show you in a little bit. Unsolicited. Wow. All right, so here's something that we've never done. We've never been asked to do this. We're going to do this. It very well could be the last time that we do this. But we are going to do, for the first time ever on Three Guys Before the Game,
on live radio,
we're going to do a gender reveal.
Never done that before.
We have a P1 listener, and we received a message from his wife, and she asked if it would be possible if we could reveal the gender of their child.
Wait a minute. Who doesn't know? He doesn't?
The husband doesn't.
Really?
Yeah.
So the gender reveals for the husband. Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
Wow. That's
Well,
interesting.
yeah, that's normally how it would work. The mom would know before the dad would know. I mean,
well, or sometimes they know.
And you're telling their family.
family.
Yeah.
oh no, this is the dad.
Okay.
This is for the dad.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Austin, do you have that picture? Here is the dad. So yeah, so he food court guy. So that is Joey Brinkley,
Okay.
and obviously he's been at the food court with the senator, and his wife is Morgan, and she wrote in, and she said, "Hey, my hubby is an avid listener to your podcast. He's a diehard WVU fan. We're currently pregnant with our 3rd child, which is due on May 1. I'll be finding out the gender this week. I wonder if there's any possible way that you guys would announce the gender to him on your next podcast. It would be such an awesome surprise because he absolutely loves you guys, and your show." And so we sent correspondence and said, well, absolutely. They've been married for 7 years, or they've been together for 7 years, married for 4. Believe it or not, she said, we've met on social media, Instagram, back in 2017.
Okay.
They've got a little baby boy or a boy named Wyatt. They've got a young girl named Ella. So this is the tiebreaker. We live in Princeton, West Virginia. We've been trying for this stubborn boy for 2 years. I've always heard it comes when you least expect it, which must be true. I was on my way home complaining to Joey about taking 2 kids into Walmart and how I must be crazy for wanting to have another one. He suggested I take a pregnancy test during our phone call. Well, guess what? It was positive that evening.
Jeez.
She says, I'll take both of my kids back to Walmart eventually. I'll just let the hormones calm down first. Thank you guys for doing this for me.
Well, it's the least we could do. We provide a lot of services here,
Yeah,
Three Guys.
She may reach out, may want to be, uncles or
Uncles?
something. We could be Uncle Brad, Uncle Hoppy. Be very, very
Maybe
nice.
name, if it's a boy, it could be Brad.
So how did you got a balloon that we're hitting, or
What are we
a
doing?
piece of food we're opening up?
One of those exploding things.
Like a cake? Are we cutting into a cake and it's blue or pink? How are we doing
it?
exactly is this happening?
Tony, did you plan anything for this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So this is a blue candy bar, and we'll tell you the story about that later. These are pink gummies.
Okay.
So I guess in the world of gender reveals, the male is the blue, and the female would be the pinkish cinnamon gummies in this case. So if I lift one of these up, that will be the gender of the baby.
Oh, so you know.
So you know it? You have it right there?
Well, I'm doing the gender reveal, yeah.
Well, I don't know what you have in front of you or what you don't. You just pulled a candy bar out of the blue to do the gender reveal.
You did not.
So I don't know what you have.
Yeah, I know the gender.
You know before the husband?
Yes, I'm telling him right now. Are you following along?
It's just this is new territory for us. I'm a little confused.
So here it is.
Okay, go ahead. Now, with the one you lift up
will be the gender.
Hold on. Just put the other one totally down to not cause confusion. So whatever one it's not, just set it aside and have one in front of you. Don't be lifting one up over the other. Just put the one away.
Okay.
And don't screw this up.
You guys have stressed me out here. Not really. Okay.
Here we go.
So Joey Brinkley of Princeton, West Virginia, of P1 status on 3 Guys Before the Game. By the power invested in me. By 3 Guys Before the Game.
Can I guess? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't ruin the flow.
All right.
Stop. It is my honor to announce to you that your 3rd child will be a baby boy.
Oh,
Hey, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Dun, 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 dun.
Morgan and Joey, congratulations.
Named Anthony.
So May 1 is the due date. Congratulations to you. And she wrote, she said, we've been trying for this stubborn boy for 2 years. I may have revealed it in the end, but anyway, it's a boy.
I think that was a generic
stubborn boy.
But it is a boy.
It is a boy. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Hope everything goes well.
Absolutely terrific. So there you go. All right. Texter says, 3 Guys, can't believe hoop season's already here. I can't remember the last time we had this many new faces on the roster, and I haven't been doing enough homework. I'd like to request a segment where maybe you could run down the roster.
Oh, there we go.
Kind of, this goes back to the marketing thing earlier when we talked about the triple eggs. You have to give the people what they want. That guy, that's what he wanted. So here you go. Texter. The much ballyhooed newcomers to the Big 12 have gone 8-11 through 9 weeks. League champion Utah, now 1-4. How can that be? What happened to last year's newcomers is happening to this year's. Maybe the dynamics of the league, no easy wins, crazy travel, good coaching makes this tougher than the outside thinks. What do you say?
I say it's the league, what we've said all season. The league is unpredictable. There is a lot of parity. Guys get hurt. We put, and Brad talks about this all the time, we put too much value on the preseason picks. Way too much.
They've been particularly bad the last 2 years in the Big 12. The other part, too, guys, there's just lack of familiarity.
Yeah.
It helps when you've played Kansas State. That's a bad example because it didn't help West Virginia. It helps when you play those opponents. You have some idea of what the system is, and then you're worrying about personnel. The teams, when you come into a league new, you've got decades of data on other programs that you just don't have. So that's part of it as well, and including all the other stuff there. It's just a really balanced league with small margin for errors for every team in the league.
Exactly.
Logan in Mannington writes, long story, but worth it. While listening to the podcast from Lewisburg, the wife wanting a caramel frappe from McDonald's, we decided to stop in Flatwoods. I've yet to find the Connection 304 traveling to 10 different Go-Marts, but I stopped at the headquarters. Little did I know that the Flatwoods location had 2 stores.
Yes, it does.
Right next to each other.
Yeah.
I walk into the truck stop portion looking for the Fly Rod Slim Jims. I asked the cashier, where's the beer? She said, we don't sell beer.
What?
I was confused, but the wife said, you didn't know there were 2 stores here? I said, no. So I pull into the normal customers' Go-Mart. I walk around getting worried I didn't find any. I check out, and the Go-Mart gods tell me to turn around. Lo and behold, the Connection 304 almost gave the search, but we'll be trying when it's nice and cold. So they had some there.
Mm-hmm.
You got a 6-pack.
Excellent.
Good win by the Mountaineers. Hopefully the bye week will help them get healthy. This is an interesting one I told you about earlier. I've enjoyed, this texter says, the addition of tutors as a sponsor. Growing up with a small business in West Virginia, you get a different appreciation for these companies. True story. Ready?
Yeah.
My uncle Ronnie worked in downtown Charleston near the original tutors. He'd go in every morning and get a sausage, egg, and cheese.
Good one.
Yes, that's correct. They named a biscuit after him, the Ron.
Yeah.
He even knew Mary B. I told him to thank her for me because there's something special about a giant bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit in the morning. So thank you very much. And when it comes to biscuits, well, we are kind of, right? We're privileged to have the world champion of biscuit makers here in the state of West Virginia. That's right. Show you Hoppy's Cup right there. You get one of those bad boys. Have that filled up for the price of a small coffee. Just buy it once and get the price of a small coffee on every 24-ounce refill. But they're the world champs. There it is. Voted the South's best biscuit last March. And that's the Mountaineer, the 2024 world's champion. If you buy one of those, you don't have to worry about the metal. They do not sell it with the metal on there. No worry at all.
My proposal for the Three Guys biscuit,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been thinking about this,
Clearly.
would be egg, bacon, and Swiss cheese.
No.
No?
Out.
Okay.
No Swiss cheese.
All right.
Dino in Morgantown writes, ciao, amici. Good to see the world champion football boys back on track. Tony, it is fig harvesting season in West Virginia. Look at these babies. And these are West Virginia ripe, signed by Dino in Morgantown. That's a nice haul. Good-looking figs.
I didn't know you had figs in West Virginia.
Well, you got to illegally steal the tree over from Italy, put it in your suitcase, and then you grow those bad boys.
Oh, somebody notify the USDA.
That's all right. Don't tell Ken Leonhardt, the agriculture commissioner, please.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, leave that one out. In view of the away crowd in Tucson, what number do you anticipate Mountaineer Nation will show in Cincinnati?
Oh, there'll be folks there.
Yeah.
Drivable.
Yeah.
Drivable.
Think about this. Okay. Closest road conference game in over a decade, in 13 years.
Is that right?
Well, sure it is, right? Up until last year, it was UCF. Iowa State was 700 miles.
I think it's 900.
900. This is the closest league game for West Virginia in over 12, 13 years.
Wow.
This is a text. This is kind of wild. I love the show. You guys have each of your specialties. My wife and I made the trip by car to Tucson. Drove.
My goodness.
Started on the 21st of October. We're going to come back November the 5th. Taking in the sights along the way. Went to Arizona game. Parked on the 6th Street garage. Walked to Gentle Ben's for lunch. Passed by a family of Arizona fans, and the father booed us. And their 7-year-old daughter gave us that grown-up mother look of darts. I simply thanked them in welcoming us and inviting us. For the most part, U of A fans were not cordial. We are meeting up with some cousins in Phoenix on the 28th, so this has already happened. I have some of these relatives, some of these cousins I've not seen in 60 years. One cousin's a grad of Arizona, and so they made a bet, and loser wears the T-shirt from the other school. signed by Rex and Janet. Here's my thought on this. If you haven't seen a cousin in 60 years, you really don't want to. That's what I kind of left. Don't when you say, Brad?
I don't know about that.
I mean, 60 years if they're in the same country.
I'm busy.
30?
Schedule's tough to coordinate.
Oh, boy. I think the senator is having an effect on my 11-year-old daughter.
Uh-oh.
I overheard this at our house the other night. My wife says to my daughter, go upstairs, brush your teeth. Daughter says, oh, is that right? You want me to brush my teeth? Well, guess what? I'm going to go upstairs, line up, and brush my teeth to determine if the effect is a good one or not. Signed by Greg in Morgantown.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Independent streak. I like it.
Yeah. I thought she was going to say efforting.
I thought she was too.
Yeah.
Stephen and Eleanor.
I like this better.
I do.
Now that Coach DeVries is in charge, any chance that West Virginia will play a basketball game in Charleston? Those of us in the Kanawha Valley really enjoy being able to see the Mountaineers in a midweek game, even if it's against a mid-major. I love the show. So here's the deal. And if you're a regular, you already know what I'm going to say. If financially it works, they'd be open to it. If it doesn't, then they won't do it.
It's just, it literally is the dollars.
It's the dollars, man, more so than ever before in the history of this business.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the dollars. Someone comes to them and says, hey, you can make $30,000, $50,000, $80,000 more tonight by playing a basketball game here than if you had it in Morgantown. Then they'll go like, okay, we're in.
Really?
If it's like, hey.
Wouldn't it be nice?
They're like, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's it. That's what it is. Received this card. This is like really well thought. Everything on this package is thought out of. So they sent us in this very nice West Virginia State emblem card. And she wrote it because it's Halloween in orange ink.
Good job.
Good branding.
Yeah. And this came from the Modern Appalachian Kitchen. Dear Three Guys, over the years, I have listened to the show with my husband during long road trips. When we started our own candy kitchen, I didn't know my fandom of Three Guys before the game would grow. Over the last 2 years, your show has been a constant in the kitchen. I work long hours and often by myself, hearing your familiar voices, making the time go by very quickly. So thank you for helping keep this WVU fan well informed and providing company on business nights in the kitchen, signed by Stephanie of Modern Appalachian Kitchen. So a couple of things I just instantly like. One, that you've got an entrepreneur that has got a kitchen, doesn't have a bricks and mortar, but cooks, makes stuff.
Yeah.
And then the next piece of that is their kitchen focuses on artisanal confections inspired by family recipes and Appalachian culture, variety of handcrafted sweets, including chocolates, caramels, and many other confections. They blend nostalgic treats from past generations with modern flavors and techniques to create a new experience for all to enjoy. So that's what I was holding earlier. Like that is an old, yeah, there you go. There's a shot.
Oh, you have another boy.
Yeah.
No, it's just one boy.
Hey.
One boy.
Hey, it's
So
twins.
Stephanie was part of the gender reveal. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yes. So
is awesome.
this is their Country Roads at Night candy bar.
Where are they
You
out
want to
of
put the
again?
gold and blue together?
think
There's a
they're
gold one, too.
Yeah, I think they're local. So
It was on my desk.
yeah, so they got into your security system there. So they have these
Nice, clean labels and packaging.
Cincinnati. They have these cinnamon gummies. How about this thing? This thing's pretty amazing.
I'm eating, by the way. I've been waiting for an hour.
This is
for you
a
to get this read.
pistachio UBE. How do you say that? Pistachio UBE marshmallow.
Oh, my.
It looks perfect.
Is that coal good?
What did I just have here?
It was a
That's
chocolate
a
coal, right?
coal lump. That's
Coal
called
lump?
a coal lump.
Chocolate-covered lumps of cold. These are tremendous.
This is a Freddie milk chocolate for Halloween. Freddie milk chocolate.
I know, it's
Just
not a good
anyway,
time for you
thank
to
you
go
so
wait.
very much. We're going to get into all that stuff.
Thank you. That's
we'll,
a great package.
We'll review
Here,
that.
get these over here because I'll eat the whole.
Man, they look really good.
These are awesome. These lumps of coal. What is
Yeah,
this? Like a
called lump-
cookies and cream?
Cookies and cream. Got a lot of different stuff in there.
Some like
Thank
Rice
you.
crispy type stuff.
That's
inside.
very, very nice.
Yeah. All right. Hang on.
Very,
Get back.
very entrepreneurial too.
Love it.
Yeah,
There's a
Packaging-
girl.
Packaging is really nice.
I like stuff with the West Virginia theme like that.
There's a girl I follow on Instagram
Okay.
that is in I think it's Barbersville,
Okay.
and she makes sourdough bread in her home.
Oh.
And it's been wild watching her because she just started like with a regular oven, and now she's got an oven where I think she can do 12 loaves at once, 2 shelves, 6 on top, 6 on the bottom. And she's got this massive following on Instagram right here in West Virginia.
Really?
Yeah, stuff looks gorgeous.
Stephanie gave us here. This is like
That's like a tomb.
very good on Halloween. Open if you dare.
Tomb of the-
Chocolate-covered caramels.
Tomb of the unknown
Or
candy.
caramel hoppies, some say.
Oh, yeah.
We have one of these, too.
Wow, you're just killing it.
I'm starving. These are really good.
Bad food management.
Text. Here's a text.
Just came at the right time.
If Netflix were to do a 10-episode documentary on the history of WVU football, who would you have on the short list to help them chronicle our program's history?
John Antoniuk.
Yeah.
Hunter.
John Antoniuk, Doug Huff.
Yeah.
Those would be 3.
Yeah.
Those would be 3. You know,
If Mickey were still alive, and
Tony
Mickey would be
Constantine
the
and-
emeritus honorary.
I mean, seriously, I mean, when Tony Constantine
Yeah.
and Mickey were here,
Yeah.
like Tony Constantine could talk quite clearly about watching Ira Rat Rogers play. Just not, what are you doing? What's going
I'm
on?
sorry. This stuff's really
Gosh.
good.
It's
That
huge.
chocolate caramel.
It's unbelievable, right? I knew it was going to be. Here's why I knew it was going to be
This
really
is
good.
good.
This is why I knew it was going to be really good. If the packaging looks that good, if they go to the detail on the packaging, that means the stuff inside is going to be.
What's it called? What's your kitchen? Modern Appalachian Kitchen.
Yep. Here's
Well
an
done.
update on our over-unders when we started the season.
Ooh.
This is through 66%, 3/4 of the season, 2/3 of the season. Rushing attempts for the team, over-under, 525. 436 currently. We're on pace for 660. Tony and Hoppy win the bet.
Oh, you want it's already over? 525?
No, it's 436 currently on a pace for
I thought
660.
the number was 525.
That's correct. It is.
So you haven't won the bet yet.
Not yet.
He's
saying
didn't hit
they'll-
the number yet.
He's assuming they'll run it more than 90 times in the next 4 games. Yes or no, 1,000-yard rusher. Jaheim White's got 508. He's on pace for 770. Everyone loses the bet. That is surprising.
Yeah.
Team leader for individual sacks, the over-under 5.5. TJ Jackson, 4.5, is on pace for 6.8. Everyone loses the bet. We didn't think TJ Jackson would be there. Cole Taylor, touchdown catches. The over-under was 5.5. He's got 2. He's on pace for 3. Brad and Hoppy will win the under. Oh, yeah? Wait till he catches 3 in a game.
Yeah, this is not,
That'd
this
be
is
it.
not how you do the bets.
Excuse me?
Well, you can't win or lose the bet till it's already cashed or not cashed.
I understand. He's giving us an update.
I'd be happy to lose if Cole Taylor caught 3 touchdown passes
Sure.
in the next game.
Sure. Yeah, there's one he doesn't have the access to Pro Football Focus, a couple of those. So, yeah. Hoppy's addendum by December 1. A credible journalism entity will mention Neil as a candidate for another job. Yes or no?
Well,
All of us said yes. Josh from Audra State Park. 2 quick questions. 1, have you guys heard anything about players making shots from people in the basketball community? You know what he's saying there? That's a guy runs good stuff. Guy makes shots. Yeah. Yes, I have. 2, I'm sure Coach DeVries is watching the way Neil Brown has been treated by some. Do you think this will affect his interaction with fans, or is he aware that it's not everyone?
well, can I weigh in?
Is
This billboard, this Fire Neil Brown billboard, which maybe I've said it before. I know I've said it on my public affairs program. I think it's juvenile. It is not. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Because Ren Baker is not going to. He's not sitting there going, "I better fire Neil Brown because somebody put up a billboard." It is not determinative of. It's not going to determine what happens with Neil Brown's future. It has no impact.
Agree.
0 impact. So what are you trying to do? A. B. Brad, if he would make a change and have to bring in another coach, and I'm the agent. You're the coach that may get hired, and I'm the agent, and I go to Ren and I say, listen, Brad really wants to coach here, but I know you're off in a 4-year deal. Here's the sign that was put up, the billboard, to fire the previous coach, and recruits saw that. So listen, we're going to need 5 years, not 4.
Ask
And my
for more
bias
money or
can-
more time. I
more
would.
money, more time.
Given
So-
some of that stuff, yes.
So just, look, I'm not trying to make it difficult, but that's how this is going. So I just want you to know. So you're not helping. You're not helping.
It's definitely not doing that. I think there is a trickle down effect to that. I think that does play into the minds of people that it should matter to, not the decision makers, but others around the program or potential recruits or coaches coming in. Also, I mean, I don't know what the billboard company's rates are. They might be giving that away for super cheap. I don't know how billboard advertising is going nowadays. So they might be giving it away. If they're not, I would have thought that might be a better call to the trust. Like go and give that to the trust, or go get a couple receivers or D-backs or offensive linemen. But that's just me.
Very good. On we go. Music's on. We have to leave the studio. Kercheval is going to be hosting election coverage from here next Tuesday, and he has brought in a hazmat crew to clean the entire studio. Little germ. So you're going to do it in here?
Yeah,
First time ever.
Yeah, we got a couple. It's going to be video streamed, which should be interesting at about 11 o'clock.
No,
see what we look like at 11 o'clock.
Listen, I want to tell you all something. Whether you care about the election or not, that does not matter. On Tuesday night, watch Metro News TV just to watch Kercheval. You will see him in his most uncomfortable phase of his life. The fact that this is going to be on TV is beautiful. He'll be all right for the first. I'm going to go 2 hours and 10 minutes.
What's the over-under?
And then the first time he's waiting to get some information or someone's supposed to call in and they don't call in, watch his head just expand when he keeps looking over here and looks for the caller. Wait, I thought they were going to call. They're supposed to call. They're supposed to call at 9:20. They're not on the. Where's it? Watch the head. It'll be like this, and then he'll go to this phone over here. This is the bat phone, and he'll call back down, and it'll be great. That's the only. I'm turning the volume off. I just want to watch Hoppy. Watch your head explode.
It might.
It's too good. Three Guys Before the Game brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data
fun and games like we're doing
safe,
here.
secure, and efficient for 25 years. I got your precinct right here. By Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Go to gomart.com for
What do you
details.
mean Jefferson County isn't giving the results? What do you mean?
I got to
Get them on the phone.
I got a write-in ballot. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. That's a provisional vote. By Tudor's Biscuit World.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
You're damn right I don't. Nor do I care. Start your day the homemade way. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. We're back on Tuesday to drop our post-game recap of West Virginia Robert Morris. Then next Thursday, we'll preview West Virginia Cincinnati. And on Tuesday as well, Metro News election coverage with Sparky down there. Just watch him implode. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. We're out. See y'all.